Part 2, the role and function of the dead. What is the role of the Shepsu, Egungun, Amadlozi in South Africa, etc. in our lives? The ancestral spirits are known to be in very close contact with their children. This is due to the fact that neither or the Creator appointed them to watch over their descendants. They have the power to protect, bless, curse, counsel, warn, punish, block, and uplift their earthly relatives depending on how much their relatives neglect or honor them. They have a say in the everyday affairs of the family and seek to guide their children ever more close to God. Although it is considered dangerous for ancestral spirits to dominate the day-to-day activities of the people on earth, just as a parent should give their child some leeway to make mistakes and learn on their own. The Shepsu also have functions that cut across purely blood kinties. They have a common interest in the community and in the earth in general. It is said, according to Yoruba belief, that the Shepsu or the Egungun were sent to earth to create order out of chaos. Whenever you invoke the Shepsu, you will find yourself being compelled to become more harmonious, neat, orderly, and godly. You will tend to want to get along better with people. The Shepsu have collective functions that include and go beyond family and lineage loyalty. They collectively protect and guard the community and the planet against evil spirits, epidemics, famine, negative witchcraft, ill will, evildoers, sickness, poverty, and a host of things. They seek to bring wealth, power, light, hope, productivity, cooperation, truth, and divinity to the whole community generally. If you are from down south or know anyone who is, you have seen this dynamic play out often. You've heard the stories how when so-and-so did something bad, he got his butt whooped first by Miss Jones, then by Mother Miss Carey, then by Old Man Thompson, and when he finally made it home, first his mama whooped him and was on him like white on rice. Then when Daddy came home, he beat the black off him. The Shepsu act in a very similar fashion, looking after and punishing all. The Shepsu also have a definite role and say in the political, social, and religious function of the society. In modern terms, this means that before black folks vote for somebody, they will consult the Shepsu first on the matter. Now this precludes one little thing, that we are living in a communal way. You see, back on the continent, we lived in clans or gnomes and were united by what the Turtle Islanders, parentheses Native Americans, called totems. As such, many families and people were united under one spiritual force or guardian. We had village or communal ancestor groves where the entire village and the village elders could convene and hold town meetings. Important issues were discussed, and then was resolution made through the invocation and counsel of the Shepsu. Although each family had their own family Shepsu altar in their homes, or would do prayers and rituals at the graves of their beloved, there was also a community site for the gathering and input of all the protective Shepsu of that village. In Yoruba land, this is called the Igbale. So what can we do today? Think of a project building in Harlem. That building is in many ways similar to a village. Each family has its own line of Shepsu, and so each family should have an altar in their homes for their ancestors. It has been my experience that oftentimes, usually the mothers and women in these buildings, form building groups composed of residents who wish to take a leadership position and listen to the needs and gripes of the people, make sure they have hot water, perhaps someone to look after their children from time to time, organize building and block floor parties, and various similar communal activities. This is the Shepsu doing their thing in modern-day Harlem, looking after the welfare of the whole. When important decisions need to be made, these leaders, who of course are leaders because of their devotion to the care and well-being of the people and because of the Shepsu's approval of their leadership, can hold a building meeting, discuss the issues with the tenants and among themselves, and then hold a communal Shepsu ritual to get the final word, and then follow that word. This is one way that we can apply our down-home, old-time wisdom in this day and age. Perhaps most importantly, the Shepsu bring us the greatest peace of all, the peace that we are immortal and never die. Many people live life in all kinds of crazy and disharmonious ways because they have a mistaken belief that this life is all there is. Live it up and act irresponsibly. This kind of insult to the Shepsu and to their own immortal divine spark within will surely invoke the wrath of the Shepsu. No, this life is only a stage, and a brief one at that. On the outside of the inner realms, the earth walk is our short moment to live, learn, and grow outside of the land of the invisibles. And even with that, we spend approximately 8 hours every day in that spirit world as we are sleeping. So the actual active time we have on earth is minimal compared to the extraordinary time we spend in the spirit kingdom. This does not even include all the time we spend in the daydreaming dimensions of the dream time, fantasizing, wondering, contemplating, etc. Remember the way that it works. Have you ever noticed how each night, as you drift off to sleep, your mind tends to go over the whole day? It is like a movie screen pans the highlights of your day before you. This is not your mind reviewing these screens. This is the Shepsu and the judge. Each and every night as you fall asleep, you are taken to the hall of judgment, and your day and the way you acted both physically and mentally to it, i.e., the thoughts and feelings you gave birth to, are evaluated. Your heart knows the way that you should have responded when so-and-so stepped on your foot by accident, or when Tina did that same rude thing again. This, my friends, is the mini judgment day, or in this case, night. Once your behavior has been weighed in the scale of love and righteousness, mayat, the verdict is recorded in a book. This book has as many pages as you have days in your life on earth, and each day is marked, dated, and the entry of the judgment is recorded. Based upon the judgment, just like in a court of law, you are given a sentence for the next day, or soon thereafter, that fits the crime. If the offense was major, then the sentence usually comes a little later, at a time when you are most down and at your worst. By the end of your life, your book is filled, all except the last page, which is the page of your final judgment. That page can either be gold or black, depending upon the color of the pages that precede it, whose color is determined by the nature of the verdicts and deeds written upon them. On Judgment Day, you are shown all of the scenes drawn or written on those pages, along with a gold and white book that contains all the ways that you should have acted on those days in order to bring God into your life. You will either pass or you will fail. The choice is always up to you. If you pass, you evolve and get to reside in a godly part of heaven. If you fail, you are thrown into a new life with even harder and more stressful tests. It's like being held back a grade. General knowledge. It is important to note that Africans do not worship the sacred noble deceased, but that we commune with them by giving them loving reverence. We give them an honorable burial and, like the ancient Egyptians are so well known for, provide the deceased with the tools they will need to carry out their work in the spirit world. The duat. We give them food, drink, and remembrance. Shepsu communion is to be a true and beautiful moment. We praise them with heartfelt song and soulful dancing. We name our children after them and leave businesses and heirlooms in their honor. They hold affection in the hearts of the descendants. What the Shepsu love most is a true heart and a earth relative who makes them proud, who, as we say in Kemet, causes their name to shine in heaven. Our rites to the ancestors can be elaborate or simple, depending upon our means. But a true heart and a deep inner faith and peace are the highest of offerings. Libations should be poured to them daily. However, once a year we have that special moment that is the Shepsus, the yearly Shepsu rituals, where we reveal and celebrate in who we are, dress up, remember, and reenact the stories and life of the divine ones through tales, music, instruments, theater, and festivity. In return, we receive their blessings,